Hi, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, it's that time again. It's time for a TBR. A TBR guided by two readathons. Two month-long readathons that I'm doing in the month that school starts. Yeah, I don't like how early our school year starts. Literally, I go back to work on August 1st. But I'm really excited about both of these readathons, and probably, most definitely, overambitious for the amount of things that I can get read, because I'm still working through the subscription challenge, trying to finish off SCASL. It's getting a little bit more difficult because for some reason, most of the books that I still need to read have ridiculously long holds at my library. And I'm wondering what that's about. I didn't really think it was a big thing with students and stuff, but maybe people are pushing it for summer reading. Anyway, still waiting on those. So I've got BookBox books, I've got SCASL books, I've got my normal challenge books, and then I still need to get to ARCs because I made some really good progress. And then kind of am falling behind again because I can't seem to stop requesting them. Be that as it may. Let's go through the books. No, let's talk about the two readathons. The first of the readathons that has already defined prompts is the Autumn Equinox of Aurelium, the Magical Readathon. And for that one, in the spring, you follow whichever course that you're going to take. If you get qualified, you have to meet certain levels for certain classes, and for some of those that means like 2 or 3 prompts. And because I chose Alchemist, which has had 10 classes in the spring, I have several books on this list. So I have books set aside for all of those. The other readathon is a brand new readathon that I'm really excited about because it's called the Amazing Readathon, patterned after The Amazing Race, which is one of my favorite reality game shows. Those prompts don't drop, like the first prompt does not drop until July 31st, so I won't know most of those. And I'm hoping, she said that most of them are vague enough that you can make things work, so I'll make them work, but it'll be interesting. So the creator I just recently started following, so I don't remember her name. I think it's Bree. It might be, but her handle is 4 Paws in a Book. So I will link that down in the description. Hopefully I'll remember that. So that one, I don't have any books set aside for specific things for that. But what I'm going to do is I am going to go over the books that I have set aside. Then I'm going to talk about which of the prompts that they meet for Magical Readathon, and then mention any other potential possibilities at the end of that. So let's start with my challenges. So we're going to start with clearing the oldest TBR off Goodreads. I don't have this book because I've just requested it from the library. I'll probably get it a little bit later today. And that is Nightingales, and it's a biography of Florence Nightingale. Am I super excited about this one? No, but I needed another nonfiction because I am still trying to get to at least 2 nonfiction a month. The next one is my Buzzwordathon, and that one is Aggie Morton, Mystery Queen, The Body Under the Piano. I want to get more into mystery, and I've heard good things about this. It is middle grade, I believe, and the word is, the buzzword, I think it's like body parts, and so like body. So that's what I'm going with for that one. Then we have my 23 and 23 books, and we have Opposite of Always by Justin Reynolds. I almost said Jason Reynolds? I almost said the wrong name, but anyway, Opposite of Always. And then one I'm really excited for, but also nervous because of how much I loved this author's debut, and that is Warrior Girl Unearthed by Angelina Booley. But I've heard really good things from people who have loved this, who loved Firekeeper's Daughter, and also loved this. Next, we have the series I plan to start, and that is Mask of Mirrors. I don't remember what Rook and Rose is the name of the series. I'm a little bit more nervous about this one than others. And also the style, the format of the book is not as enticing because it's more tightly bound. So I'm hoping that I can find an audiobook version of this. But this is the series that I'm going to start. Now, there are 2 series that I'm going to continue because they fit other like Magical Readathon prompts. And then 1 series that I'm going to finish. One of the series that I'm going to continue is one that I started this year, and that is the Frostheart series. So I'm going to continue with book 2, Escape from Aurora. And then I'm going to continue with the read along with Jade from TBR Reads with, the Ruin of Kings series. I don't remember what it's called, but book 2 is The Name of All Things. And then the series that I'm going to finish is a bunch of companion novels. It's an older one, but I'm going to finish. I don't know what this series is called, but we've got House of the Red Fish and Under the Blood Red Sun. These are, I almost said Civil War. These are World War II fiction books, primarily in the Pacific Theater. I'll be back. I have to change out the battery. The next books that I'm going to talk about are the books that I'm going to read as part of my book box project. And for Goldsboro, I have Shield Maiden by Sharon Emmerichs. My other nonfiction, and that is Killers of the Flower Moon by David Grann. A lot of people are reading this because there's going to be an adaptation. I didn't plan it, but here it is. The Curse of Saints by Kate Dramis for my Fairy Loot adult subscription. Witch King by Martha Wells for my Caffeine and Legends subscription, although I will also be able to use it for my Illumicrate subscription if I remember correctly. That's the one that I doubled up and accidentally got this one. I have Belle of the Ball for my comics subscription. This is the last of the regular ones that I got before switching to the kids version. And then what might be my last Aardvark book for a while, we have Death of a Bookseller. This is the last one that I've gotten from them. So you might notice a few subscriptions that are missing. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do those. Okay, so for Fairy Loot Young Adult, TBR, and Illumicrate, because I want to actually read one from Illumicrate, I am going to be using this potential selection here. Because I don't have those prompts for the other readathon, I'm going to be using these. Primarily, I am going to focus on probably this one, and these 2, because I'm on Team Yellow. And you get bonus points if you read yellow books, and Yellowface is also a host fave, so I would get bonus points for that one as well. So for those 3 subscriptions, which are on the shelf that you can't see, I'm going to make it a game day decision to fit a prompt, more than likely. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause, I'm going to rearrange the books and tell you what prompts they fit for the Magical Readathon. The other books that you will not see physically in this are my SCASL books, and I was going to bring my list back here to read off the ones potentially that I would choose from for that. But when I was picking up my planner this morning, somehow I knocked over my completely full coffee cup. That was a mess this morning, but I think I've gotten it cleaned up. Okay, so here we go. I wrote out little sticky notes of everything, so I will be able to give you the full scope. So we're gonna start off with alchemy. Obviously, because I wanna be an alchemist, let me back up a little bit. Magical Readathon, there are lots of people that explain it really, really well, but basically it's like an RPG type of readathon where you've created a character and they are progressing throughout a story and they are going to magical school, and it's really fun. I really, really like it because my character, the name I can't remember, fitting for me because I can't remember character names, she wants to become an alchemist. She did that last year really successfully, and she's doing it again this year to advance up to the next level. And so the first class is alchemy. Obviously, I have to get to distinguished. The levels are O, ordinary, Q, qualified, and D, distinguished. So there's 3 for that one. And this year it fits really well. And these are all about series. So the first one is Stone to Copper. and that is first in a series, since I start series every month. Basically, I'm using Mask of Mirrors for that one. Next we have Copper to Silver, and for that one I'm using Under the Blood Red Sun because I believe this is book 2 in this series. I have previously read books 1 and 3, but again, they are companion novels, and that is continue a series. You should be able to guess from earlier what I'm going to use for the third one. The third one is Silver to Gold, and that is last in a series, and this is book 4, House of the Red Fish. So reading those will get me my distinguished in alchemy. Next is Animal Studies, and this one was a little bit difficult because it's pet pick. I don't have pets, I don't plan to have pets, and at the time, G from Book Roast, who puts this on, did not have her video up that she said you can use this if you don't have pets. So I found a random one on YouTube, a video of someone using their pet to pick their books. I used the order, she laid it out. She had 5, but I had selected 3, ones that I had to read, basically. And then in the order, her pet went for the second book first, and that one ended up being Death of a Bookseller. That is Animal Studies, and the prompt and the name was Introduction to Domestic Creatures, so hence the pet pick. The next one was also a little bit difficult, and I had to stretch it just a little bit, and that is Astronomy. And for, I only need O, Ordinary, for that one, but that one, the prompt is Moonsong Ritual. It said, word in the title from the name of the last song you listen to. I don't listen to a lot of music. My students are always surprised by this, so I stretched it. I saw someone else saying in the Discord that they used podcasts. And so I went through the podcast list of ones that I had listened to recently and chose one, and I think it was a stretch. From what I wrote down of the title, I don't see the word that I used, but I know there was an overlap, but it came from the podcast The Economist, and for that one I'm using Killers of the Flower Moon. I think I used one of the prepositions, but hey, it's in the title. Next we have Demonology. For Demonology, I think, yeah, all I had to do was get to an O, and that prompt is first book you see on Instagram, Goodreads, etc. Now, I don't really follow a lot of Bookstagram accounts. I don't really go and browse Goodreads, so I used BookTube for that, and I realized earlier that day, one of the first videos I had watched the day that I was making all of these selections, I had seen G's introduction video, and in that she mentioned Witch King. So that's what I'm reading for that prompt. Next we get to Spells and Incantations, and I need a D distinguished, so that's 2 books. And so the first one is Charm Short Grip, I think. It's one of those Short Trip. There we go. Short Trip. And the prompt is manga, graphic novel, comic, etc. So for that one, I'm using Belle of the Ball. Then this next one, I had it for a different prompt, and then I reshuffled it because I thought, oh, this is perfect. And then I realized that I misread the prompt. It still fits. But for that one, it's Spells and Incantations, Q for Qualified, the 2nd level. It is Black Flame, Incantation, Black Flame. And for that one, it said black or fire on the cover. My mind read that black and fire on the cover, and so I chose the name of all things, black and fire. So it fits either way. Next we have Inscription, and for Inscription I need up to Distinguished, so that's 3 books. And the first one is a glyph, and that is Tidy, and it says a book from your end of the year TBR, so I chose one of my 23 and 23 books, Warrior Girl Unearthed. Next for Distinguished, I chose Shield Maiden because the prompt is Wands and Shields. The actual prompt is shield on the cover or in the title. As soon as I read that prompt, I knew which book I was going to read. Then we have D, Distinguished Advanced Penmanship, and that one is not a debut, and so I chose my other 23 and 23 book, Opposite of Always. I don't think this is Justin Reynolds' debut. I'm pretty sure it's not, so I'm going with this one. Next we have Lore, and that is Tale of the Guide, and that is bookseller's recommendation. And I stretched this a little bit because I'm not going out and I don't generally purchase things based on booksellers' recommendation, except for the fact that I picked up this series because of Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin, and when he was recommending this, he was a bookseller. He's not now, but that's how I'm counting this one. And then the last of the actual book prompts, there's one more prompt after this, was it's Q for lore. I had to get 2 for that one, and that is Cursed Cloaks, and it says clothing on the cover. I could pick just about any of my books that has a person on the cover, because I don't have naked people on the covers of my books. But for that one, I chose The Curse of Saints. I mean, it says Cursed Cloaks, and she's wearing a cloak, so I thought that was kind of fitting. And then the last one is Restoration. I just need an O in that, and that is Induce Sleep, and that says to start a book before bed. I'm going to leave that up to an interpretation of one of the books that I end up picking up this month. Even without the rest of the books here that I know I have, because I have clearing off my oldest TBR, and I have SCASL books that I don't have here. I have a lot of books, so I'm putting them all back together here, and you're starting to see them in frame. That means I have a fairly substantial stack below this, and I'm starting a new school year. I'm not gonna put these next ones up just yet, because then that'll cover my face. We shall see if I manage to do this. Thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one.